What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on what I see going on with Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James, right? And mainly Stephen A. Smith. To me, it's just obvious that Stephen A. Smith he has fake hate for LeBron James. And the reason I say that is he is going out of his way to try and make it seem like he really don't mess with LeBron James. But then on the other hand, he wants to make it seem like he's trying to be fair and objective, right? And so I want to listen to some audio of Stephen A. Smith on Gil's Arena show, and when he was comparing LeBron James to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, which one he thought was the greatest. Now, in his argument, his argument kind of it kind of speaks against what he's really saying. Like it don't really make any sense. He make the case for Mike being the best, but then he's trying to make it sound like LeBron is number two, instead of Kobe. But I'm going to play this audio, and then as we get into it, I'm gonna break it down and just point out how Stephen A has fake hate for LeBron. I think it's all a game as far as like the media is concerned. They're trying to make it seem like LeBron has a beef with Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. Smith has a beef with LeBron. I think they just all playing games because even in the end, you're not getting the truth. You're not getting anything honest from Stephen A. Smith about LeBron James. And I'm going to use his audio to point out how Stephen A. Smith is still not telling the truth about LeBron James.
When we look at Jordan, for example, we look at 6 finals, 6 MVPs, unblemished in that championship round, never allowing a game 7 to take place. We've seen in one pressurized moment after another where he answered the call. Mm-hmm. We look at Kobe. He's a 5-time champion. And you have a lot of people out there that put him ahead of LeBron because of that. I think Kobe was a killer, God rest his soul. The brother he'd be somebody that he'd give it to you. Mm-hmm. And not to say that he didn't play defense, because obviously, in his prime, he was an elite defender. The flip side to it, however, is that when you're playing with Shaq and the rest of the crew, and then ultimately Gasol and Bynum and the rest of the crew, you had a crew. When you struggled, you really, really struggled. Mm-hmm.
All right, let me stop it right there, right? So what Stephen A. Smith is doing now is he's trying to set the groundwork to really make it look like Kobe always had help and he had a strong crew. When really, now with Shaq and the team, those first 3 championships that Kobe won with the Lakers, and Shaq was there, and you had Robert Horry and all those guys. Those were some strong teams, right? But the fact that Kobe was brave enough to want Shaq out of there, out of the Lakers, and then once Shaq was away, he took Pau Gasol, and and Bynum, and won championships with them, right? Now, Pau Gasol and Bynum never won anything anywhere else outside of Kobe Bryant. Shaq did. When Shaq left, Shaq won a championship with Miami, right? And so that right there, like the foundation of his argument already is starting off on a bad foot. But let him finish, and he's gonna just go further and further down the slide.
That was never LeBron. See, when you look at LeBron took that team to the finals, and then you get swept by San Antonio. But you saw what he did. Right. Everywhere he's been.
So he's now what Stephen A. Smith is trying to say, that LeBron never struggled in the finals. Which LeBron is in the finals. LeBron James is 4 wins and 6 losses. So there you go, right there. Why is Stephen A. Smith trying to protect LeBron James' legacy when he know, had this been anybody else, he would be, this right there would be like the dagger right? This would be obvious that LeBron James is not on the level with Mike and Kobe, but he trying to put a spin on it, and his spin contradicts what he's saying. And then number two is that's hard to sell. It's just really hard to sell that LeBron never struggled when his record in the finals is six losses, 4 wins and 6 losses. But let me just allow him to dig himself further into this hole.
And teams have elevated. So you can't take that away from him because he's 6'9", he's 260, because he can play inside and out, because he can be, lethal in the open court, because he could step things up defensively, because of so many things that he brought to his arsenal, and how he would create mismatches, which I think is one of the things that he did better. He's done better than most. You look at
everybody on the court when you played against Mike. Everybody on the court was a mismatch for Mike. Mike was the greatest of all time. So let's go to Kobe. I think the same thing could be said about Kobe. Kobe was just as lethal at the offensive end as Mike, or almost as lethal at the offensive end as Mike. Then on top of that, you never seen Kobe struggle until the end of his career when he was hurt, when he had that Achilles injury. Those last 2 or 3 years, Kobe was playing basically on one leg. And so you've seen a different Kobe Bryant, right? But LeBron James, and I'm gonna let Stephen A. Smith continue to contradict himself with his own comments.
Him along with the 4 championships and what have you. You say you can't take that away from him because as bad as the Lakers were as they descended, right, in Kobe's final few years there, would that have ever happened with LeBron? The answer is no.
Lie. So the Lakers last year with Luka went and who did they play? Anthony Edwards and his team. And Anthony Edwards just ran them out the gym. Why? I don't understand why Stephen A. Smith is protecting LeBron James and then try to bring it to people like I'm being objective, even though me and LeBron James don't get along. I'm not buying into that, because even the arguments that he's making, like the Lakers never struggled. Of course they struggled with Kobe. Like I said, those last few years they struggled because Kobe was older. And then on top of that, he had an injury, right? But when Kobe was a prime Kobe and you take prime LeBron James, there's not even a contest, right? I posted a video of Kobe Bryant just locking LeBron James down one-on-one in an All-Star game, and LeBron couldn't even get off a shot. Then on top of that, the reason why LeBron James left Cleveland in the first place is because Kobe was so dominant in the West. So he wanted to go team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. So that right there just that cancels that out, his argument for LeBron being number 2. But here we go, some more of Stephen A. contradicting himself.
With LeBron James, no team would have been as bad as the Lakers were at one point. So you take that into consideration as well. You think about all of those things. And then you look at a Bill Russell, for example. Yeah, different time, 11 championships, 13 years, you get all of that. But in the same breath, he was a defender and a rebounder, was far from an offensive juggernaut. You look at a guy like Wilt Chamberlain, who are arguably the most unstoppable big man in the history of basketball. But I'm looking at your number one nemesis, which was Bill Russell, and he outnumbered you 11-2 in titles. Plus, you had quit in an NBA Finals game.
All right, here we go. LeBron James, he said 11-2 for Bill Russell in title, 11-2, right? Bill Russell beat Wilt Chamberlain way more than Wilt Chamberlain beat him. They was beat Bill. They was 11-2. Bill Russell was the favorite in that. So if the finals matter, then why shouldn't the finals count against LeBron James when, like I said, he lost 6 finals, won 4. Kobe won more in the finals than he lost in the finals. As a matter of fact, all of the greats won more finals than they lost, except for LeBron James. And Stephen A. Smith right here again, he contradicts his own argument for LeBron James being number 2. Every example that he bring up for LeBron James just contradicts his argument.
In the eyes of a lot of spectators. So you got that going on. I'm looking at Jerry West, God rest his soul, a silhouette, where you won 1 title in 9 tries. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking at that. I'm looking at a Tim Duncan, the 5 titles. Yeah, but it was Popovich. Yeah, you Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker and the crew. But you know what?
All right, so right there, Tim Duncan has 5 titles, but he didn't say anything, and he want to credit the coach, Manu Ginobili. See, he moving the goal line when it comes to somebody else. Everybody had teammates. You can name teammates on every team. You can say Mike had Scotty. Kobe had Pau Gasol. Everybody had teammates, but nobody moved around and cherry picked like LeBron James. Everybody, all of the greats worked on their game in the offseason, and they came back the next season with a new skill, something that was going to make them a better player and make it more difficult to beat them. LeBron James never did that. LeBron James, against the Dallas Mavericks in the championship, he let J.J. Cabrera and Jason Terry shut him down. 6'9", 200. I forgot what Stephen A. Smith said he weighed. He was 6. I know he's 6'9", 230 or 240 pounds. You tell me, would J.J. Cabrera or Jason Terry be able to stop Mike or Kobe in a championship? Not just stop them, slow them down. I won't even say stop. J.J. Cabrera probably was about 6'10". About 5'10". Jason Terry was about 6'2". I want to know from you all, would either one of these guys, what would have happened if you put J.J. Cabrera or Jason Terry on Mike or Kobe?
Got the Lakers a couple of times. They got you a few times. Not quite the same. The Diesel, Shaq, dominant, but a big man that played bully ball but struggled at the free throw line with 52% shooting from the free throw line, et cetera, et cetera. You got those things. There's so many different things that go at. Tracy McGrady was big time. T-Mac was no joke. But you got the title when it didn't matter. When you were in your prime, certainly Grant Hill getting hurt didn't help in Orlando. It's not your fault. We know that you had those requisite skills. But what will forever be held against them was not only the absence of titles, but you were up 3-1 on Detroit and basically said the series was over. And Chauncey and them brothers came back on you. I'm just saying. I'm not talking about, I'm not saying it was his fault. I'm saying his words before the series was over. You know what I'm saying? I mean, one of the things we marvel about when we talk about Kobe was that social media hit with Iman Shumpert was playing for the Knicks, and he talked about how he was going up against the Lakers and Kobe came up to him and said, you had a really good game. Pat him on the back. You had a really good game. And it was the end of the 3rd quarter. And then Kobe in the 4th went berserk. So, you marvel at shit like that.
Now, could LeBron ever do something like that? Mike used to do things like that too. Who was it? Sam Cassell said when he played against Mike in the playoffs, Mike at the beginning of the game, I think it was like game 3 or something like that, went up to Sam Cassell and asked him where was he going at on vacation? Like LeBron never had that kind of confidence, that kind of ability where he knew he was good enough to send like another NBA player home. Sam Cassell was just, and the way Sam Cassell told the story about, playing against Mike, and his confidence was up. Sam Cassell said his confidence was up. He thought that they could beat the Bulls. They had a really good chance. And Mike come up to him and shake his hand and say, where you going at on vacation? And proceeded to beat him. So LeBron James has never had that type of confidence. He never had that type of swag. He wants you to give him that type of praise like he has that. But LeBron James never had that. Kobe had that. Yeah, man. It's everything Stephen A says is like he don't hate LeBron. You can't tell me he gonna sit there on Gil's Arena show and act like he hate LeBron when he's putting LeBron in front of Kobe, but everything he says is like contradicting what he's for the reason why he's putting him in front of Kobe.
Because you sitting there and you like this, all right, you talking some shit, you know, and then you see somebody like yourself, you know, his age is 0, and then you dropping 60 on somebody. That shit matters. And so you think about those moments, and then you go back to LeBron and his greatness, and you say, yeah, it's there, it's legit. But we do remember the finals against the Mavs. We do remember that you struggled in the fourth quarter of 4 consecutive games. We do remember that J.J. Barea and Jason Terry were guarding your ass and you didn't do something about it.
2 excellent defenders.
Well, no.
Yeah, I'm glad. Gilbert Arenas tried to slip that in like though he wanted to give LeBron James a pass too, talking about excellent defenders. J.J. Cabrera and Jason Terry are not excellent defenders, especially when it comes to playing LeBron James at 6'9", 260 pounds. Let me see. I'm not even gonna play that again. That's just crazy. But LeBron James struggled in that series against the Dallas Mavericks, 4 games in the fourth quarter. Again, you never seen that from Kobe. You never seen that from Kobe.
So I'm just saying that you look at something like that, that don't stop you from being number 2, but it'll stop you from being number 1 because you know what Jordan would have done because Jordan.
Man, that stopped you from being number 2 also. When you let a mismatch, if you're coaching a team and you see that kind of mismatch, you see them putting a guard, somebody 6'2" on somebody 6'9", any coach will want to exploit that. Any player would want to exploit that. If I'm a coach and I'm like, all right, LeBron, we're going to exploit. If they put Jason Terry on you, we're going to exploit that. Kobe, if they put Jason Terry on you, we're going to exploit that. As a matter of fact, you want to cause, you want to go to the high pick and rolls and all these so you can create those type of mismatch. But Dallas they sought out LeBron James. They put those small dudes on LeBron James to sort him out, to seek him out. I'm sorry, they seek them out. You're not going to seek out Kobe like that. And, it's just not going to work. So I'm not even going to play any more of what Stephen A. Smith said, though. But Stephen A. Smith just basically, like I said, that hate that he professes to have for LeBron James is fake. Don't fall for it. And that's all, because everything that Stephen A. Smith said, he contradicts his own arguments with every other statement. And so with that being said, man, y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.